Today I'm going to be talking about Anthony Kiedis, which is the lead singer of one of my favorite bands of all time, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm going to focus mainly on his early life because that was not only the most eventful, but probably the most influential, to make him the crazy guy he is today. So he grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and pretty early on his dad left his mom and went on to California, became a big hippie, long-haired, sold drugs to all these famous people and all these celebrities and stuff. By the age of 10, Anthony convinced his mom to let him move to California with his dad. And when he got there, they just kind of had this weird relationship. Like, there was no age difference between them, even though he was 10 and his dad was like, late 20s or something like that. So they would go to clubs together and stuff and sit at this table with all these famous people that his dad sold drugs to. And they would like go in the same clothes and everything, like the same outfits, just custom fitted for Anthony. And so he kind of got introduced to this life of partying and drugs and everything and women. But he still maintained straight A's in school. He was a really good student. So just a couple of crazy things that happened along this life of partying. When he was 12 years old, Anthony asked his dad if he could sleep with his dad's girlfriend. Crazy, but it happened. His dad let it happen, and his reasoning behind it, he said in a later interview, was that he didn't want Anthony to be the last one to lose his virginity like he was in class, so he made him the first. And that reasoning is kind of ridiculous, but that's how it happened. So the next kind of big thing that happened with Anthony was he tried heroin for the first time at 14 years old at a house party at his house, and because all these famous people were coming in and out, and actually two of the players from the Raiders came right the night before the Super Bowl, got really messed up on heroin, and then won the Super Bowl the next day. He was always kind of exposed to this group of people. That kind of started a big heroin romance deal with Anthony. He also did alcohol, all these other drugs, prescription drugs and everything. He was just kind of strung out on that all the time. Well, his relationship with his dad kind of went south there for a while, so he moved out with a friend that he had met from Fairfax High School, Mike Balzery, which is also known as Flea, the bassist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And they actually got together, him, Flea, Jack Irons, and Hillel Slovak were the four founding members of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they all met at high school. So they all move in together, and they're kind of going to clubs, experimenting, just finding an excuse to get on stage and perform because they love entertaining so much. And it kind of started off as a joke. They went to this club and performed as Tony Flo and the Miraculously Majestic Masters of Funk was the original name. And they ended up changing it to the Red Hot Chili Peppers in March of 1983. And kind of went everywhere because everybody liked them. Like, they were so just punk and funk that everybody loved them. So they're going to perform at all these different places, getting strung out on drugs, which ends up killing Hillel Slovak, the original guitarist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, one of the greatest guitarists of all time. At a young age, he died. I think it was 24. That led Anthony to get sober, and not forever. He did go through a little hiatus with drugs right before the album By the Way came out in 2002, but now he's sober and still loves performing everything. Those guys will never die, it seems. They're like 35 years old with the band. So I also just want to say one of my favorite quotes. It's kind of small, it's not really a favorite quote, but one of my favorite quotes from him was, "Whatever doesn't kill you will make your book longer," because I'm reading his autobiography right now. It's 500 pages, and it's just all these crazy drug binges that he went on, and this story he put in there about when he was 16, him and Flea got on top of a 5-story building and tried to jump into a pool. Anthony completely missed it and broke his back. It's like, yeah, I shattered my back, but at least my book's longer. It's just his way of thinking. I thought that was kind of funny. That's it.